No, I don't believe in, let me be clear. I think that data mining, a single multiple, I won't allow even regression analysis to be done, just to be clear. An algorithm, what I'm referring, I'm sorry for the interruption, let me make this clear. An algorithm, the way I see it, is an expression of your thinking. The question is how it's determined. If you go to data mine to try to determine your algorithm, like a regression analysis, I think you're going to be in trouble, particularly in the markets, because you're not going to understand. You could take a two independent variable regression analysis and you can't explain why the coefficient, if it says 0.25 times whatever that is, and you say, why should it be that if that thing changes by 0.25, you can't explain it. So I'm not that. I'm talking about algorithms which are, in a sense, the decision rules that you are expressing however you choose to come by that. I just wanted to clarify that. Sorry for the interruption.
Not at all. That's
What?
tail risk.
Tail risk? No.
Out standard deviations.
No, I think that, again, I think that you're not, I'm not conveying to you adequately what I'm saying. I would ask you, how do you take consideration of tail risk? However you do, I have my way, you have your way, that the algorithm can capture that. It's not a mathematical thing. I think you're thinking, you're approaching that with a certain preconception of what I'm doing that's not correct, right? So I'm saying we all deal with the question of tail risk. Then I would, if we had a conversation and say, what's the best way to deal with tail risk? Then we would derive that, we'd put that in words, and then we would convert that into an algorithm for dealing with tail risk. That's what I'm using that as an example, right? So the question is, does it represent your good thinking? You're having a preconception, essentially, that thinks I'm putting a lot of numbers in the machine and that I'm trying to deal with that. And we can go down that path, but I just want to explain that it's not. I believe it has to be a reflection of your thinking. I believe that the biggest issue of we're dealing with, particularly in the markets regarding algorithms, is algorithms are going to blow up if these two things, two considerations. Do you understand the algorithm, and does the cause-effect relationship make sense to you? A lot of algorithmic and machine learning means that the person cannot explain the logic of the cause-effect relationship, and that's the first sign of danger. The second sign of danger or risk is that the future is different from the past. If you have both of those things, where in the markets, the future is both likely to be different from the past, and most importantly, that whatever is discovered becomes put into the price, right? In other words, if you discover something great and the algorithm discovers it, and other people discover the same algorithm, then what's going to happen is the reverse. Because everybody finding that, using that algorithm will bid up the price, let's say, and not understand why. And it's therefore more logical to go the opposite way of the algorithm than to follow the algorithm. You got to short it, right? And history has shown us that that's the case. Long-term capital, many cases. Merger arbitrage, any particular style of investing has, when it's gone through that process where the person doesn't know the logic behind it, it's very dangerous. So I just want to be clear. I don't think, by the way, that's just an investment problem. I think it's an issue of our time, because as we get into more algorithmic decision making, I think that it's totally okay if the future is the same as the past and you don't understand it. Playing chess, for example, or even doctors doing surgeries. If the same moves are made over and over again, cutting and making those decisions and so on, so that there's no reason to believe that the future is different from the past, you can get algorithms to do mimicking, and that will be effective, and we're going to see a lot of that. But we're going to push the limits of this thing, because some people, in terms of competition, are not going to be able to tell the difference. And as a result, I think algorithms in our society as a whole can be quite dangerous, because there's not an understanding and there's the future being different from the past, and that's a formula for danger.